watching the Fox 13 4 o'clock news.
Getting older changes the way we see life, and a new survey reveals as you add more candles to your birthday cake, family matters most. 8 in 10 Americans say they care about the impression they leave on loved ones, but when it comes to preparing for the future, 2/3 say they don't have a working will, including about half of seniors. The survey also found just half have talked to their family about their final wishes. This can all weigh heavily on family members if there's suddenly a crisis and they're left having to make some really important decisions. So joining us now is elder law attorney Sean Scott and caregiver advocate coach Linda Burns, who we've had on before. Thank you guys so much for being here. Such an important topic. So Sean, do you find that a lot of families don't start thinking about this until someone's in the hospital or there's an emergency?
Well, you know, I don't think any of us think about it, right? I mean, that whole day of when are we going to be dead or when are we going to be incapacitated is
not fun to think about.
Well, yeah, I got other things to do, right? And I think we put that off, all of us individually and in our families. And then there's that crisis. Some bell gets rung, somebody gets sick, somebody dies, grandma has a stroke or something, and then that's the little bell that goes, maybe I'm not going to live forever.
Right. Well, and sometimes it's slow.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
It's just slow.
Creep up
they
on
think
you
I got everything. I got everything taken care of. I'm doing good, and then all of a sudden.
Right. Or there's family dynamics where you just don't want to talk about it.
I think there's always family dynamics.
Right. So what are the most important steps that people can take?
Well, I think just taking action, obviously. It's so incredibly easy to take action here that it's almost criminal not to do it. So the first thing, take action, find somebody that you trust out there in the community, a professional, like an elder law attorney, for example. You need a couple of things in place and the initial set of things, like a power of attorney, for example, a healthcare surrogate. Unbelievably important, super easy. You come to my office, you have a cup of coffee. By the time your coffee's done, I got your things ready to roll, and you can go home, and now you can stop worrying about it. So there's...
And sometimes putting things under a trust, too, right?
Oh, sure, that's an estate planning thing. You know, we're not going to live forever again. And how does your stuff get to your people in the most efficient way? And a trust is a really good way of doing that.
Give me some important things that might happen if somebody passes without a will.
Well, see, this is a problem. If you don't tell us where you want your stuff to go, where is it going to go? The state actually has a statute that says where it goes to your spouse, for example, and to your kids. The interesting thing there is the state's never taking your money when you die. Having a will, though, is an awfully good idea because now you get to tell where you want it to go. So, and it's easy. It's super easy. That's why.
I know you deal a lot with elder care issues. Is this something that you talk about?
Oh my God, we're in a support group and no one has made any preparations.
Well, wow.
I'm like, what?
And they're in the thick of it.
Yeah, and they're in the
and
thick
they're
of
still
it because it's an uncomfortable conversation.
Right.
But I think we have these conversations earlier. So recently my granddaughter has 2 children and she has a house. I go, you're going to see Sean.
Right now?
Yes.
While you're feeling fine.
Right, because especially something like a healthcare surrogate. It's really important. And we don't want, people think, oh, well, if I don't make any decisions, well, my kids are just going to make it, but that's not going to happen.
Well, in some cases it can't, right? Like if you're in the hospital, you need that piece of paper for someone to come in and make a decision for you, right?
And sometimes your kids can't make that decision because you haven't even had the conversation with them.
They don't know.
And again, your spouse, just because you're married doesn't mean he or she gets to make these decisions for you if you're incapacitated. Very, very common and just flat wrong. So.
I bet you find, too, sometimes that caregivers are just so overwhelmed with the day-to-day.
Oh, like one more thing on my list.
Right.
But that's why I want you to think about it before. Or at the very beginning of your journey. I don't want you to think about it way before there's any health problems.
This power of attorney thing, it's one of the most important things in that journey. You know, you can't tell somebody who's going to be able to make your decisions for you after you got hit by the truck.
Yeah,
you have to do it beforehand.
Right, or you can't sign documents if you're incapacitated. Right, exactly. Yeah. So let's talk a little bit about what age you think this should happen, and it's not that costly, right? I mean, it's a price that's worth paying for your peace of mind.
Here's my statement when I get asked that question: if you're over 18 and breathing,
then it's time.
Then it's time to do this.
Yeah, but people don't realize that.
No, I mean,
because I think that my child, even if he's 19 or 20 and something happens to him, I can go to the hospital because I'm his mother.
My son had one done the week he turned 18. Within that year, he was upside down in a tree being cut out of the car by the paramedics, and they fly to Fort Pierce Hospital with a broken neck and a broken back and a coma.
Wow, I'm so sorry.
He's good though.
Because you
He's
had,
fine now,
because you could go show
but,
up
but
and
who shows up and
Right.
talks for him and on his behalf? Because he
Right.
had this piece of paper that he signed when he was 18. We had that.
These are all great tips. Quickly, can you guys give me a website or a resource that people, if they want to know more, can go to?
Oh, mine's easy. flmedicaid.com. flmedicaid.com.
And you are? Because I know you answer questions about everything for everybody.
Linda Burhans, the gal who cares for the caregivers, lindaburhans.com. We have a lot of stuff going on. Sean and I do a lot of things together. We're going to have some conferences coming up and a whole bunch of good stuff.
All right. Thank you guys both for joining us. It's so
Thank you.
important. Such an important topic, Chris.
Yes.
It
So
sure
good to see
is.
you, my friend.
Linda